back. It's me, Brittany Hislop with Here, Let Me Help You. Okay, one of these has to be good. If not, I'm literally gonna die. Okay, bye. Hey. Welcome to Here, Let Me Help You. We're
Hi.
back.
Hello.
Happy November. We made it.
Happy November. Halloween was fun.
It was fun, but I'm so happy it's over, babe.
Yeah, well, I was happy we were done sewing. Sewing was a long process.
I never thought that it would be so difficult to be a ghost, but
You need a sewing machine.
yeah, 100%. I mean, like, I learned how to sew in 7th grade home ec. I mean, I'm not any all-star sewer over here.
Definitely not fast. I can
So,
sew like one
yeah.
ghost eye, maybe half a ghost eye a night.
Literally took forever. Yeah, not to mention we have so much other stuff to do, so we were sewing like, one eye a night. And we finished. I literally finished Remy's costume with hours to spare.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It was
babe.
good.
I literally could not have done it without you. I really, truthfully, like,
Me neither.
you put your
I
skills to work.
couldn't have done it without you.
I think I would have failed miserably. So
Nah,
I love you.
I love you.
I'm excited about the holiday season coming up, but it's like literally the busiest time of year for us.
Oh, there's so much going on.
You like, speaking of that, you like white ghost sheet fuzz on the mic. 'Cause I was cutting cutting the ghost
The remnants.
sheets in here. Yeah, holidays. You just going back to holidays. Like, we have, what are we coming up? We got, Veterans Day,
Thanksgiving.
which we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, and then
Kennedy's birthday.
Kennedy's birthday.
Charlotte's birthday.
Charlotte's birthday is 7 days after that,
Yikes.
and then it rolls into Christmas.
Yep. And then New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And then your birthday. And then my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fun-filled couple of months here.
Yep. We got
Expensive,
Oh, jeez.
exhausting. So if I look frazzled AF on these next couple weeks and I'm running around looking like a hot mess,
Are we looking like a zombie?
that's why. Yeah, Ryan's eyes are so red right now. If you can't see, it's probably because he's so
Well, if they
tired.
can't see now, they know.
Sorry, I just wanted to, let everyone know that we're really tired. No, but for real. Oh my gosh.
Coffee does wonders, though, babe.
It does. It is also extremely late again. It's 11:21, so it's probably the latest we've ever
Almost
started.
yawned.
I came out to get ready to start the podcast, and Ryan was sleeping on the couch. So hopefully this episode is okay.
It's gonna do great.
You want to scoot over a little so we're more
Yeah.
cozy?
Let me cozy on up.
Cozy up. We're gonna do word of the day first, and then we can get into it. How about that? We don't have to
All right.
do any other crazy stuff today. Are you ready for this word of the day, babe?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope it's easy.
I hope it's easy.
Oh, that's easy.
You always look. I guess it's
you
fine.
look.
I'm the host,
Well, what am I?
co-host.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
What's the word?
word of the day or word of the week for this week is hatching.
Like a baby bird.
Yes. So hatching refers to the drawing or engraving of lines close together as a method of shading or to a pattern so created. So no, what we were thinking of was completely wrong.
All right. I don't know what this word is.
Okay, so for example, the artist uses hatching to breathe life into her comics, or the hatching adds depth to the illustration. So
So it's like
it's
art
like
verbiage.
it's a method of shading essentially to make
Alright.
things look a little bit more depth, have more depth.
Yeah, give it some life.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I don't know how to hatch.
So we thought hatching was like hatching from an egg.
That's the only hatching I know known of until today. But that's what word of the day is for.
Yes,
to learn new
exactly.
meanings of random English words.
I don't know every word too. I don't know every word, so I'm here to learn as well.
Is it spelt differently?
No, HAT.
English is crazy.
CHING. Hatching. It's a noun.
Oh wow, a noun. A person, place, or thing.
We'll save our English lesson for another.
Conjunction, junction. What's your phone?
I was never good at that stuff anyways, honestly.
Me neither. What do you mean? You majored in that stuff.
Literature is more like, books.
Yeah. With words like hatching.
Not grammar.
Yeah, grammar is hard.
I hate grammar.
There, and there.
Correct.
Ugh.
There. That is something have a huge pet peeve on. Like, if you get your theirs wrong, I'm like, instantly, if I spell it wrong, like if it's autocorrected or something, I'm instantly fixing it. Like, I will not let that slide.
Yeah, I try not to use the wrong there. It's embarrassing.
It's pretty embarrassing.
Over there.
How do you spell that?
THERE.
Okay, good.
How do you say that's theirs? How do you spell theirs? That's theirs.
HEIRS. Spelling bee.
And they're cool.
THEY''RE.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
that's theirs over there being cool.
Hey, you over there. Okay, we need to stop. I need to stop. Okay. So
yeah, word of the day is hatching.
Hatching. I'll try to use it somehow throughout this episode.
Good luck. We didn't know shading or
we can maybe bring it all full circle somehow. We'll try.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
So I guess speaking of why we're here today. Well, it's obviously to do this episode, but we needed a topic this week, and I figured, well, Ryan's been now promoted to co-host. So
salary increase.
Oh yeah. If he's going to be on the show weekly with me, you're going to have to get to know him too. And I didn't really talk much about my career. That's, I think, next week. But Ryan's going to go ahead and start us off by telling us a little bit more about himself. And I figured, what better week to do it to start off November? It's the salute your troops, right? It's the month of supporting our troops.
Oh, you don't salute with your left hand. That's embarrassing.
I didn't even know that. See, so we're going to learn a little bit about the backstory of Ryan, but also just, I feel like I was very naive to like the whole United States military prior to knowing you or meeting you. And I still don't know like a lot at all. I actually was on Google a lot this afternoon.
I should have done that too.
But we can like phone a friend maybe.
Yeah.
If anyone's up.
Hey, Stone.
But I just wanted to have this conversation as well because I think that it's good to. We're not going to get into like the nitty gritty stuff, but I think it's interesting to get someone's perspective who's been there, done that, right? Because, I mean, not everyone's been there and done that.
Very few.
So we'll try to keep it as interesting as possible without.
What? This is super interesting.
Well, here's my thing with the military, and it's like a big pet peeve of mine. There's a lot of acronyms, and like I can't keep up. Like every time him and his friends are talking, there's like 15 million acronyms flying around, and I'm just not even knowing what the hell's happening. So like I feel stupid. That's why I had to take notes for today.
Oh yeah,
it gets me a little flustered.
Do you got some acronyms you're gonna throw at me?
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez. Okay,
oh, yeah. But they're easy
for all my fellow Marines out there. If I forgot them,
yeah, it's okay.
Come at me in the comments.
Oh, that's Ryan's favorite thing to say. If you haven't noticed,
fight me in the comments.
He really wants people to get into the comments.
It's
like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, baby, it's engagement.
You're right.
It pushes the video into the algorithm.
Yeah, I can't complain. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Well, I'll remind everyone, first of all, the Marines. Well, no. Let me just back up here.
Yeah.
Let me just really just rewind here because not everyone knows that you're in the Marine Corps, Ryan. So I'm going to start off by asking you, even though I just told everyone, we all know that you were in the military. Do you want to tell them
the Marines?
What branch? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I joined the Marine Corps in July 14th, 2008.
July 14th. Sorry, the fuzz was distracting me. I'm so sorry. I'll stop.
I can turn my mic.
I remember that date because we actually made Carl our tortoise's birthday, July 14th.
We did?
We got him on that day.
Yeah.
Is that special?
This is my EAS-versary.
We'll get to that.
This is my anniversary.
EAS.
End of active service.
Okay. Don't forget that, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you enlisted in 2009.
2008.
Sorry. See, this is a thing. Like, I feel like we've been together for so long and we talk about this very, like, loosely.
Rarely.
But yeah, kind of rarely. So, I mean, I did know that 2008. I'm just bad on my dates, but okay, sorry.
Yeah, right after I graduated high school.
So I just wanted to ask a little bit about why, or what was your why? I guess because kind of just before because when I was on the website looking up the Marines, I think it's like Marines.com, I'm pretty sure, and it's like they give you the lowdown, like the whole like the spiel and like why you should join or like what's great about the Marines. So I guess I just was curious about
a sales pitch.
Yeah, like what sparked your interest?
Well, so it has a lot to do with I didn't know what I was going to do after high school. And I knew my parents wanted me to go to college. But I didn't have any offers or scholarships for college, and I didn't want my parents paying for my college.
Right.
And so it was a little bit before graduation. I don't know. Probably around like February or March timeframe. And I think I was just about to turn 18. And me and Johnny were just, my friend Johnny, you know Johnny. We were just hanging out at a Starbucks one day. And some middle-aged men with tattoos and sunglasses and high and tights approached us and said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" I was really off. I was like, "Whoa, why are you asking me?" And basically, they just there were a couple Marines that just got back from Iraq, and they were on recruiting duty. And so they were just out and about talking to people in the Marines, trying to get them into the recruiter's office to recruit new Marines. And they just talked to me about it and talked to me about their experiences with war and stuff. And I don't know. Yeah. It just sounded kind of interested. And then told me I should go talk to a recruiter. And so I told Cody.
Sure.
Because I knew that his dad was in the Army, the reserves at the time. And I told Cody we should go check it out and he should come with me. And he said, okay, I guess I'll go with you, but I'm not joining the military, dude. You're crazy. And I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know either. I'm just going to go check it out.
Yeah.
And then so we went to the recruiter's office one day and they gave us the whole spiel. And so the recruitment process all kind of went pretty quick. Me and Cody went to all of the different recruiters.
For all the different branches?
For all the different branches. So after we listened to the Marine ones or whatever, like after they gave us their sales pitch and fucking talked to us for, I don't know, 2 hours, I was like sold. I was like,
the website had me sold.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go do that. Like, that sounds cool as fuck. I can go do whatever I want. Like, I'm going to get paid. They had me pumped. And then I knew all the benefits of what you get when you get out and free college and everything like that. And then, so that was also a big decision maker for me because I didn't want to put the stress on my parents of having to figure out of how to pay for my college after they just paid for both my sister's colleges like 2 years before I was graduating and stuff. And so I was like, hey, what the hell? Yeah, I'll go get like this world life experience. I'll go do some cool shit. I'll get to go travel the world, you know, and after that, then I get free college and, you know,
Yeah.
some good benefits and stuff.
Yeah.
And so to me, that was like all it was. It wasn't like I wasn't raised super patriotic. I wasn't raised
Did you have
super
anyone in your
military.
family that served prior?
Not that I was aware of. I mean, after, I think it was like a little while after I was in, my dad was telling me about how like some of the men on his side of his family, like his family members or whatever, were in the military too. And he said that he was thinking about doing it or was going to do it, but then didn't do it. So I don't know. Just like all those stories of the people are like, oh, yeah, I almost joined.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I always ask just because, like, for example, like we have other friends where they have like a long line of family members that were in the military. So it generally, for them, might have been a reason or like a catalyst for them wanting to join.
Well, that was like a lot of the people that I met in the military too, is like all their family or their father or like, you know, their uncle they're really close to it or anything, like did the same stuff too. Or they were in the military as well. So, but yeah, for me, it was just kind of like, it sounded cool and it was out of the blue. And I mean, when I even told my parents, they were like, my mom was like super hesitant and was like, are you sure you know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then when I told my dad, because I wasn't technically 18 yet when I decided to sign up for it. So I had to get my parents' signature, you know? And when I told my dad, he was like, you're what? And I was like, yeah, I want to join the Marines and, you know, go into the military. And he's like, no, you don't. And he like laughed at me and was like, no, you're not doing that. And I was like, no, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go do that. And he's like, no, you're not. And I was like, okay, well, you have to sign this paper, or when I turn 18, like in a few weeks, I'm just going to sign it anyways, and I'm going.
It's kind of crazy how they're like, you got to sign this paper, but if you just wait a couple months, like, you don't have to. Well,
I was almost turning 18, but I was just like, no, I just want to get this signed up and done with. Well, because then there was also like a thing, the earlier that I signed up, so before I got like shipped out was like the DEP program or whatever. And so there was like functions that we had to like go do and stuff. It was basically like, oh, if you're signed up to go, you're like considered in this DEP program. I forget what DEP stands for, another acronym.
I didn't look that up.
But basically the time that you were in the DEP program before you started your military service or whatever that time was tacked in on your end of active service.
Okay.
To be like reduced. So basically, whenever you sign up for a 4-year enlistment, you have 4 years active duty service, and then you have 4 years inactive duty service.
Oh.
So basically, 4 years after I was in the military, I was still considered during my inactive service.
Oh, so after you like got out, you were still
if anything like super big popped off or whatever, like I would have absolutely no choice. It wouldn't be like instead of them doing like a draft,
I see,
they would just call all the inactive members of the military back to active duty, and they'd have to serve their active duty or their inactive service as active duty. So I was in like the DEP program for, I want to say like 7 months, because I think I had about like 7 months or 8 months in the DEP program where I only had to do like 3 years of inactive service instead of 4.
I see. So it like cuts off the time that you're potentially having to go back in and after do something else.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so they have like these meetings where like every Tuesday and Thursday, I think it was, you had to like go to the recruiting office, and all the like recruits that were signed up to go to boot camp, they all had to like learn all the stuff, basically like teach you the things that they're going to be teaching you at boot camp, so you learn them before you go.
You signed up, and then after you sign up, like you filled out your paperwork or whatever, and then they said, okay, cool, we're going to call you for boot camp. Is that what they said? Like,
well, basically, but like I said, so
or
when
did
you
you
were
have
in the
to do
DEP
something?
room, you had to go like weekly and you had to do like physical tests, you had to do physical activities, people had to do like pull-ups, push-ups,
right,
just to get you like in a certain shape and get you prepared for what you were going to be doing in boot camp.
Okay.
But me and Cody didn't have to go every week or all the time because
why not?
Because we were just far more physically fit than the other kids that were there. And they were like, you guys aren't going to have any problem with physical fitness
I'm
and
not
boot
questioning
camp.
you. I just think that's so crazy.
That's what they said. Like I was outrunning the recruiter and shit. And then when
I'd be
they're
like-
like, okay, do your pull-ups, and like kids would be doing like 3 pull-ups, and they're
Oh my
like, good
God.
job. And then like me and Cody would go up there and we do like 22, and they're like, all right, yeah, you don't have to come
like,
Thursday.
we're
You're good. Like
Hey.
here's some acronyms of
Yeah,
like
learn
the
those.
acronyms of stuff that you're going to be
God.
learning in boot camp,
Good
and
luck
like
with
the
those. Yeah.
the Marine Corps knowledge that you're going to be learning.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to get screamed at and look like an idiot by the drill instructors, like learn this stuff.
Right.
You know.
So they were basically getting you ready for boot camp.
Yeah,
They
they're
were, like,
preparing
getting you
you
in
for
shape.
what was to come.
How long you was
boot
so you
camp.
had like a couple months of that over the summer before you
Yeah, so I had that even when I was in high school too. Like people knew that I was.
when did you go to that? Like after school or something?
Yeah, it was like Tuesdays and Thursdays after school. It was like at 4:00 you had to be there.
You would think that the recruiters would just try to find some better in shape people. Well, I guess hey,
Well, it's hard to get anybody. So whoever comes in, if they can make it, like there's a body out in the field.
That makes sense.
And it's not even
Well,
like
that's
there's a
catching
body to
me.
go be a chef, like
Yeah,
there's
no.
a body to go be a paper pusher.
But tell them to go take a hike. So
Yeah, most people do.
So good for you, babe. Okay, so boot camp, was that
Oof.
summer after you graduated?
Yep. So I graduated in May 2008, and I left for boot camp July 14th.
July 14th. That was the day you went to boot camp.
Mhm.
And boot camp was where?
San Diego, California, MCRD, Marine Corps Base.
Okay, so there's 2 bases I was reading. There's one in North
Carolina.
Carolina,
Mhm.
and then California. Those are the only 2, correct?
Mhm. For boot camp.
So if you go to boot camp, did you get to choose? Did you just went to California because it was closer?
Because I live on the west side. Yeah.
Okay, just curious about that. Is there ever a time where they would send someone to the East Coast, even though they live on? I wonder.
Possibly, maybe.
But you don't really have a choice, essentially.
Oh
They
yeah,
just tell
no.
you.
If they would have told me that I'm going to boot camp in North Carolina, it's not like I could have been
You're
like,
nah.
oh yeah,
It's too far from me,
no,
fam.
go ahead and resubmit, please, sir.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, and then I read that boot camp was 12 to 13 weeks.
Mhm.
Okay. And it says that you learned firearms, combat, basic battlefield tactics, first aid, and then it ends with the final test, the Crucible.
Crucible.
Do you know what that? Can you explain that?
So the Crucible was like the final segment of boot camp, basically, before you graduated
Yeah.
and you got your Eagle Globe and Anchor.
They said it's a 54-hour test.
Yes.
It requires hiking with 50 pounds of gear,
Mm-hmm.
operating off little to no sleep,
Yep.
and working through obstacle courses and hand-to-hand combat.
Yep. It was all that. So you just basically
54 hours?
yeah.
What are you doing? You're just walking for 54 hours?
Yeah, from like site to site, and then they had like
Where do they do this at? In California?
in California.
In,
Yeah,
like the desert?
yeah. No, like in boot camp, like on.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember because we didn't leave the base. It was all on the base.
Yeah.
Like,
Where is the base? Like in the desert by the beach?
it's by like ocean.
It's in San Diego.
Yeah, it's by what's that?
Oceanside. Or?
Oceanside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like right over there. It was like depressing because you can like see the freeway and cars
Yeah, I
out
was
there.
gonna say I probably would have blacked all this out of my brain, so like I
did.
wouldn't be able to tell you.
It was hard. Like I'm trying to remember.
Was it flatland? Were
No,
you
it's
hiking?
California.
Well, that's what I was saying. I figured like you were going up
Like
mountains.
yeah, people are like, "Oh yeah, I go hike Camelback Mountain." I'm like, "Dude, that's not a mountain." Like yeah, there is a
No.
hard side of Camelback, don't get me wrong, but like that was like that Camelback Mountain was probably
Joke.
like I don't even it's hard to compare because like I'm going off like I don't know,
Yeah, Ryan
15
smoked
years
cigarettes
ago of
walking up Killback Mountain.
memory, but like
I'm like dying.
it was like probably harder than that. And so like the last hike that we did right before we had to graduate, it was like this. It was I don't even remember. It was at like 2:00 in the morning or 1:00 in the morning, and we're all just humping and we're tired and we're like carrying our packs and stuff, and everybody's like dying and everybody's like crying. It's like this dude. I remember this guy that his name was Hagglebush. His last name. So last name on the jacket, it said Hagglebush.
Shut up.
His last name was Hagglebush. And
What a
and he
name.
would, like, I just remember him because he was like a little fucking piece of shit. And he was like crying.
Oh my God, I hope he doesn't.
I hope he
ever
watches
see
this. Hey, Hagelbush, if you're out there, dude, you sucked in boot camp, dude. I hope you're doing great in life now, dude. But I mean, I don't know what you did in the Marines after boot camp, but
I'm so sorry.
but no,
sir.
because we were all like tired and dying and shit. And then like he like starts crying, gets all buddy with the chaplain, which is like the pastor.
You
And,
brought a pastor on your hikes?
because people would like freak out, and he would like comfort them and be like, "It's okay, man. You can
Wait, so
do
you can be
this."
in the Marine Corps and be the chaplain?
Yeah, you can be a pastor. You can be a head church guy.
Friends, just in case.
I'm telling you,
didn't know.
whatever job you can think of in the civilian world, there is
That's
that
a
same
pretty
exact
shitty
job
chaplain job. I would
in
not
the
want that
military.
job. I'd be like, I don't want to hike with these guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm
God
saying.
be
Like
with you.
90% of the military jobs are easily replaceable with civilians. It's just that
No one wants
they
to do
can't
it.
pay them enough.
Yeah, you're not paying me anything. to
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
because you don't get paid that well in the
We'll
military.
go work anywhere else.
But anyways, that
Sorry.
Hagelbush guy like cried up next to the chaplain and was like in tears or whatever. So then he didn't have to wear his big ass heavy
50-pound
bag
pack?
up the last fucking hike. A drill instructor wore it on top of his other one
Because
that
he was
wearing.
crying?
And he just wore his little day backpack.
Okay,
And he walked with the fucking chaplain right
I'm
next to
sorry.
his side and held his hand. So whenever someone was trying to yell at him or whatever, because a chaplain is actually like a pretty high rank. He's like an
Yeah.
officer, and he like the staff sergeants and the sergeants like couldn't say anything to him to be like, hey, quit fucking holding this bitch's hand, and no. And
Oh
then
my
so he
God.
just had it like easy, and then we get up to the top of the mountain and everyone's like fucking dying, and then he like it's even, oh my God, now that I'm remembering. So they have like a videographer, so then like when you do your graduation or whatever, it shows like you guys going through
the hard parts.
through the crucible and
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
And they were showing the last hike of the crucible, and you see like people like and they're just like stressing to make it. And then there was the slideshow of all those pictures, and then there's Hagelbush, and he has his little backpack on next to the chaplain, and he's like this, the biggest smile on his face, thumbs up, and everybody else is like like dying. And it was in our slideshow at graduation, and we all were like, "Fuck you!" Oh, dude, it was
That's
hilarious.
so funny. Oh my gosh, they have to leave that in. That's
Hagelbush,
so
dude.
funny.
I'll never forget.
I'm so sorry.
And Hicks.
Sir.
Hicks was another one that I'll never
no.
forget.
We're not going to roast anyone else. I can't.
How you wanted to know?
I do, but like, oh my God, I can't make people cry when they watch this.
They're not gonna watch this.
You never know.
Hagelbush and Hicks are not gonna watch this. And if they cry about that,
He was crying about
Like-
having to carry his backpack.
yeah, he was like 18. He was
Okay.
a little sad
That's
boy.
true. We're going to give him some credit or some
Yeah, he's
benefit
probably
of the
doing
doubt.
all right now.
All right, so after that, after boot camp, it says you complete their basic and infantry training, and Marines report to their assigned acronym MOS, which is. Do you want me to tell the people, or do you want to tell them?
What MOS stands for?
Yeah,
Military Occupational Status. Is that right?
specialty.
Oh, specialty. My bad.
It's okay. And so it says here you're proficient. You become proficient in a selected specialty.
Yes. So after boot camp, you either go to SOI or MCT. I forget what MCT stands for because it's for all the pogue losers out there, and SOI stands for School of Infantry. Oh, I think MCT is like Marine Corps training.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
SOI, yeah. Okay. Got it. Wait.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just. What are the two you said again?
SOI or MCT.
Okay, yeah, MCT. SOI is School of Infantry, and MCT is Marine Combat Training.
Marine Combat Training
Battalion.
Combat. That's
I was just reading my notes because I took a lot of notes because I was like, there are way too many acronyms here, and my head's starting to hurt. So okay, infantry I was reading is 52 days, or I'm sorry, SOI. So SOI is 52 days.
Yeah, I think it's about a month shorter than boot camp.
Whereas battalion, so MOS is only 29 days.
MCT, yes.
MCT, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus
MCT
Christ.
is a much shorter school.
Okay.
Because they got to go learn Marine combat training before they go be like a paper pusher or like deal with intelligence or hand out SIF gear.
And then it says, to get more confusing, that all Marines are then assigned to a unit with a permanent duty station, which is a PDS. Do you know what that is?
Permanent duty station, you just said? To get more confusing.
Well, I'm confused.
What do you mean?
What is that?
What?
And maybe deployed overseas if their unit is in order to do so.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so you went off to SOI.
I did SOI.
And you did 52 days of training there. And so that's where you learned to shoot guns, essentially.
Well, yeah, we did shooting guns in boot camp, but boot camp was just basically the rifle range, and we basically just learned everything about the M16 at the time because we weren't doing M4s yet. But then yeah, SOI, it was more broader aspect of infantry. So once you went to SOI, you basically got to choose which part of the infantry you wanted to be in. So the main parts that they offered was 0311, which was infantry.
Okay.
And then you got an 0331, which was machine gunners. And then you have an 0341, which was me, a mortarman, tube strokers. Steel rain, baby. And then they also had a 52, which those were what were they? Basically like the rockets, guys, the rockets.
Okay.
They shoot rockets.
Okay.
And then those were the 4 options that we got to choose from.
Okay. And so you chose mortarman.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
It sounded like it was the easiest.
Oh my god.
It sounded like it was the easiest.
Oh my god.
And it turned out it wasn't so easy. There's lots of math involved.
Well,
but that's
good
mainly
thing
for
you're good at
FDC.
math. That's good. So then after you finished,
then you went to your PDS, your permanent duty station. So like right before you were about to graduate SOI and be completed with that, they gathered everyone around and basically told everyone where you're going to be stationed at.
Yeah.
And then so my name was called and I got sent to Hawaii.
Okay.
So my PDS, my permanent duty station, was Honolulu, Hawaii, with 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines.
Okay, so that makes sense. I knew that. So I didn't know I didn't know what PDS.
Me neither. I never heard that either. I just called it I just was told that's my duty station.
Okay.
Like that's where I got to report to after SOI.
Okay. And so there's a lot of those around the country?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can get stationed. I could have got stationed in Tucson.
Right.
But not for SOI. So, I mean, if you're
got
military.
kind of lucky to go to Hawaii then.
In a sense, yeah.
Can we also.
Like, you could also get stationed at 29 Palms in California. So, there's only so many duty stations that infantry Marines go to.
Uh-huh.
A lot of other, like, permanent duty stations are mainly for the people that go to MCT or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, infantry Marines travel in between all those bases all the time anyways. I mean, they're still used, but they're permanent duty stations where they normally reside, or usually either in California, North Carolina, Hawaii. I think there's Virginia. Maybe. I don't know. But I was with 1st Battalion, 3rd Marine, the Lava Dogs.
All right. And what was kind of cool is you ended up going with your buddy,
Cody. Yep. Yeah, so that was a crazy story because me and Cody signed up doing the buddy program, which basically only guarantees that you stay together
right
through boot camp.
Right.
So then anytime after boot camp, we could have been separated.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But somehow we just got lucky, and we both got
Stayed together.
sent to SOI together at the same time, and then we both chose 41s and got into 41s together. And then another buddy of ours that was in boot camp in SOI with us was Derek Hopkins.
Yeah.
And he was also a 41 with us too. But when we got our duty stations, me and Cody went to Hawaii, and he got stationed in 29 Palms. So then after SOI, you know, our duty stations were different, and then you know, I didn't see him really often ever again until after the military.
Yeah, that's weird how you're like, you like see them and then they're gone, like forever.
Yeah. Same thing with Torres. You remember meeting Torres? And that guy that was in that movie that I told, or that movie on.
Oh yeah, the documentary. Yeah,
he's like a big firefighter now.
Yeah.
He has a thick monkey skull.
Okay, interesting. That is really interesting. Okay, and then I was just reading a little bit more. So it says the PFT is a standard test,
physical fitness test.
So you to take that every year.
Yep.
Just to like make sure that you were like
up to standards.
Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm not missing anything that you had to do here.
I knew there was a
ASVAB.
ASVAB.
What's that?
So that was basically what you took before you joined the military to see what kind of knowledge you'd have. So like the ASVAB kind of determines what you're qualified, what MOSs you qualify for in the military.
Okay.
So after I took the ASVAB, they're like, okay, yeah, you can choose whatever MOS you want. And like I could have done Intel, I could have done all kinds of different cool things where I would have learned something, you know, a little more useful out in the civilian world. Sure. But I just chose to do infantry because
it seemed most fun to you.
Well, most fun, and also it just seemed like that's what, in my mind, that was like what the military was for. You know, like if you're not signing up to go fight, then what are you sign? You're going to sign up to
be a chaplain,
hand out IDs, and
I know,
you know,
like
I mean, be a landscaper or
reasoning for going.
Go be a cop on the base or something. Like
that's what I really want to do, but I guess I see your point. And then I found out through you guys that the Marine, this is a little tangent, but the Marine Corps is an independent branch but serves under the Navy.
Yes.
So that's just a little side tangent that really confused me for a little bit. So the Navy's older.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the Marines operate more. Yeah. Excuse me. I read that. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
I believe it.
Anyways.
1776.
1775 was the Navy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
a year.
Mm-hmm. Not much older. But yeah, they said that the Marines operate more kind of like the Army does, like the way that they're structured.
Mm-hmm.
But they fall under the Department of the Navy. It's very confusing.
Yeah. It is kind of confusing. But we work hand in hand with the Navy.
Right.
The Army kind of has... So the Army's more like land-based.
Right. So the Marines are place a definite emphasis on combat operations. Mm-hmm. And they're the only branch with a program dedicated to martial arts. This is why the Marines are often called the tip of the spear.
Tip of the spear, baby. McMap.
Yeah.
Does it talk about McMap in there?
I don't think so.
Marine Corps Martial Arts Program.
Ooh. Yeah, well, it just says as their combat-ready units typically spearhead conflict operations both on land and at sea.
Yeah, usually the first ones in are the Marines.
Right. So.
In any conflict.
That's pretty cool.
You get sent first. They're like, hey, it might get pretty shitty out here. Let's go test the waters with these dudes.
Guys first.
And then it's a bunch of dudes that are like, yeah, let's go fucking go. And then, you know, they just send us.
Cool. Okay, sorry. I just want to let people know that because that was something that I just found a little interesting and also very confusing. So before I get into your deployment, I did want to talk about your outfits because fashion.
Ooh.
It's fashion.
Oh, I'm not going to even remember all the outfits, babe.
I know. I want to just get into the basic ones because I thought that this was interesting. I didn't know this. So, it says that the Marine Corps have their camis, right? That's like their main
Your everyday
combat
wear.
utility uniform.
Mhm.
But what I found out is that they primarily wear the camis that are green print, known as the woodlands. But when you're deployed in the desert and you have desert surroundings, you get the tan and brown desert variation. That's what I was reading.
Yeah, I
And in
mean, I
cold
guess,
weather.
but so if you're on the military base, every military base, they go by seasonality.
Oh.
So basically, during the spring and summertime, you wear tans, and during the fall and winter time, you wear greens year round, all the time.
Where are your green ones? I've never seen those.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Why?
I probably threw them all away.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I didn't keep a lot of stuff.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I just
The
thought,
green ones were like heavier material. They're like thicker, warmer.
yeah.
They're more for like a jungle climate habitat or like a colder.
They've got multiple different
Cooler.
fits for different occasions, my friends.
Oh yeah, we got dress
There.
blue,
Yeah, so
alpha,
that was my next
bravos,
thing. So
Charlies, deltas.
we got the dress blues, which I decided to hang up here
yeah
on our wall. It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a question about that too, because I read that it said that this is the only uniform in the U.S. military designated to include the red, white, and blue colors of the American flag. So the Marines are the only ones that get those? That's cool.
It's because we're the coolest.
I did not know that.
I mean, I never really thought about it, but now that you mention it, yeah. I mean, thinking of all the other military's uniforms, yeah,
You're the only ones.
we're the only ones.
It says they're worn for many events, including ceremonies, foreign officials, visits to U.S. civil officials, formal social functions. So the fancy places.
Yep, like the Marine Corps birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We'd wear our dress blues.
Yeah. So now they're hanging on our wall.
Yep. And then we also got the alphas.
What are those?
The green one.
The green one.
The green dress suit. I'm pretty sure I have that in
I
there.
don't think so. You have
Yeah.
the happy suit. That's what you should have worn today, babe.
Well, I don't even think I
Yeah,
have
the
my
bottoms.
happy suit.
Yeah, you do. It's in the closet.
The bottoms?
Just the tops.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll have to tell you guys about the happy suit one day. It's like a
The
big
happy
Gore-Tex
suit was like
jacket.
the best piece of gear that I was ever issued.
It's like the only thing. It's like when I met Ryan, I met him after he got out of the military, and I'm thankful for that. It's like what brought us together. But like, I didn't know much about him, but I did know about the happy suit and how
She
it
knew I
served
loved my happy suit.
such a purpose in his time on his deployment.
Oh yeah.
So we can get into the deployment next, I guess.
Okay.
Do you want to tell everyone where and when you went?
So in 2009, I did my first deployment to Afghanistan.
What part of Afghanistan?
The Southern District. It was in the Nawa District, NAWA. Southern part of Afghanistan. I'm trying to remember. It was the Nawa District.
And you left it what time of year? Was it cold, hot?
Ooh. I think in 2009 we left around like in August, I want to say.
And so, just for everyone who doesn't know, that was during a war, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when we were in Afghanistan heavily. It was after the Iraq push. Basically, Iraq was done. And which is funny because Afghanistan started before Iraq, and then the whole Iraq thing happened. And then after Iraq, we were still in Afghanistan. And that was like a longer conflict there. But yeah, we were sent to
Afghanistan. And I don't want to get, we're not getting again into too much of the weeds or like the details or political, any of that really. I don't want to, because it's not what we're here for. But I wanted to like discuss your time over there, because I have heard some crazy stories about Afghanistan, the good, the bad. I mean, like,
good time.
I guess can we just explain to people, because maybe I'm naive again, but like, I'm thinking you guys have like a base, right? When you go over there, and it's like,
We did.
I know, but I'm thinking,
But not like,
No.
not like,
Like
MCRD, look at this base.
yeah, like you
Yeah,
literally
no.
get there and you like they have found you a spot. They're like, here's a abandoned building.
Yeah. So as the war goes on, as we push forward into these areas of operations that we're working in, that we're trying to defeat the Taliban and, install some sort of local government and, stability in these areas, we set up our own bases. We build our own bases.
So when you get dropped, they're like, all right, boys, it's August. We're flying you to Afghanistan. You get off the plane. What is the first thing you do when you go to the plane? You have to like go. Is it like Naked and Afraid and you have to go build a base?
No,
like,
it's like those survival video games. All right, see if you can
good
survive.
luck. Go find a spot.
No, those places are already established.
They find those for you, and then
no, they don't find them for you. Like previous Marines found them for. So basically, my first deployment,
like other people in the government or in the military scouted them out. Essentially,
Marines before me,
and then reported back and said, "Okay."
So I mean, it all probably starts back at the the most like what's that? What was that base called? Leatherneck. Leatherneck was a pretty large base. I think that's where we flew into first.
In Afghanistan,
and it was a large, well-designated like Marine Corps base. It's like
how many people? Sorry to interrupt you. Were on a plane with you? Like how many guys flew on a deployment with you?
My whole battalion.
Which is
I don't know.
Like over 100 guys.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. So in my company, there was let's see here, 5 platoons. So we had Cat 1, Cat 2, 41s, and then snipers, and then H&S. So we had 5 platoons. H&S was the smallest platoon. It was probably consisted of like 20, 25 guys.
And they all had their like little specialty things that they were doing there. Like they all were there for specific reasons. Or
yeah. So Cat 1 and Cat 2. Yeah, of course chaplains came, but they weren't when we actually went into the areas where we were going to be deployed. The chaplains didn't come out there with us. They probably stayed on bases like Leatherneck, like far in the back.
Yeah, safer spots.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But so like my first deployment where we got dropped off, we flew into what was it? It was basically by the 501. It was by the Helmand River. And so the battalion that was before us, that was deployed in that area, they basically busted like a huge Taliban drug lord, and who was he was in the process of building like 3 mansions, one for himself and then one for each of his wives.
Yeah.
And
so you just took one?
And then so those Marines, they like busted him and got him arrested and like kicked him out, and then they took over his compounds.
I see.
And then so that's where we were based out of.
So it was a decent spot.
Camp Sullivan. I mean, I guess.
It had a toilet?
No. There was no
toilets.
They
didn't have a toilet in there?
No. So the mansions
that were... drug lord with no toilet?
The mansions were not finished. They were not completed.
Oh.
They were like, oh, sweet, you have your walls up. And your stairs.
That sucks.
There's no electricity ran through. There was no plumbing ran through.
He didn't sell enough drugs to get those yet?
There's no nothing.
What kind of drugs? Opioids?
Yeah, opioids for sure. Heroin, black tar, heroin, poppy.
You're popping off.
For sure. And so when we were there, we had one of the mansions was just empty, and it was kind of where we did like some training exercises and whatnot. The other mansion was for us, the Marines, and all the Marines stayed in there. And then the other mansion was for the ANA, the Afghan National Army. And so it was like...
Do you want to explain that for a minute?
What?
The ANA?
The Afghan National Army?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just really quick. I mean, if you can.
It was the Afghans' army.
And you guys were friends with them, and you worked
we worked side by side with them, training them how to do what we do, basically.
So you guys became essentially not friends, but I mean, it was
coworkers. We became cordial, and some of them I became friends with. But I mean, you always
did they speak English?
No,
there was translators.
Yeah, so the translators we became more friends with than the actual ANA. Well, I mean, some ANAs we became really good friends with. They were actually really cool, but you'd still, you'd always.
And then they were using their
Question.
their their
Yeah,
stuff.
they had their weapons. They had their own.
So if you were teaching them, you were having to teach them on like their stuff.
It was mainly tactics and how to patrol and how we do things and how we
Skills.
engage. Not like here, learn our weapon systems.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, they should know how to do that if they're in the military.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a little bit of that, just in case. I mean, if shit popped off and then they needed to, like, in the middle of a firefight, use our weapons, it would be good for them to know how to use it, and vice versa for us with theirs
like
too.
there was something, you guys were under attack, obviously, if your base were something were to happen, they're there and they're like, we got to help out. Like, they're supposed to be helping.
yeah, but I mean, most of the time you're just like,
hurry up,
get the fuck out of my way. What are you guys doing?
Hurry up and move.
Yeah, you guys have no
they needed help. They needed help.
Yeah. They're just, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. I mean, well, maybe. I mean, I don't know, because they just do things completely differently.
Well, and there's a language barrier.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like a major one.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But
okay, so that answers that question. So when you were in Afghanistan for your first deployment, how long were you there before you were able to go home? Like,
so my first deployment, I think, was a little over 7 months, or roughly 7 months, 7.5 months.
So you were there
like
through
that.
Christmas?
Uh-huh.
How was that?
We had Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's there. Christmas was wild.
Really?
Christmas was wild. So yeah, we had a bunch of steaks sent out to us.
From who? Do you know?
From the chain of command, like the higher ups. They're like, oh, it's Christmas out. Let's get these boys steaks. And it was like our one good meal. And we just had like a huge party that night with the A&A and with the Marines and everything for Christmas dinner. And we ended up shooting off like a bunch of flares for just like a party. Yeah. And so we were shooting off like red flares and green flares and white flares, and those all have meanings.
Sure, I'm assuming colors mean something.
Yeah, so like red flares was like,
warnings?
Oh shit, like like we have contact, like broken arrow, you need to come like save us, we need help. Like that was red. And so we just started like popping all these off and just going crazy. And it was our company commander's like idea, like our captain was there and it was like, yeah, let's do this. But they didn't like give a forewarning to all the other bases around.
Oh my god, everyone was probably freaking
And so
out.
yeah, we started getting radio calls. They're like,
are you good?
What the fuck's going on? Oh my god. And then like no one responded for a while because we were all just like shooting flares, having steak for dinner.
That is.
And they all the other bases got steaks too. I mean, we sent it out all too, so they were having their own dinners and stuff. But they saw all the flares and they started contacting us.
It was a good time, but like
they thought we were like under attack, broken arrow, and they were like about to come over and like guns ablaze. And
I can imagine that's like not something you really probably should be joking about. But
yeah, it was funny.
Fine. It's whatever. All right, so let's see here. I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the answers that I want from you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember. This is a story that's ingrained in my brain. Which deployment was it? And we can always go back to this if it's a second deployment. But was it your second deployment that you did not shower? Or your first
No,
one?
that was my first.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. So my first deployment was shitty.
So scarring.
First deployment was like probably, I felt the most I've ever felt like a fucking slave in my entire life.
I shouldn't laugh.
Like it was terrible. I was like indentured servitude. The schedule that I had for 7 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the schedule that I had for 7 months, I probably had like an average of like 4.5 hours of sleep every night for 7 months. And some nights I'd get less.
So what was your daily like tasks like for those 7 months every day? Obviously, unless you were doing something very dangerous or on like a mission.
Yeah. So like the normal routine was we had so we were in 2 different kind of squads. There was 2 squads, and each squad would rotate 2 days on post and then 2 days on patrol. And
so post is like, what is that?
It's like, basically just like watching
for
bad guys. Like go stand up in that corner and make sure we don't get attacked.
Old mansion.
We have watch 24/7. You go stand in that corner. 4-hour shifts. Some guys will be up there to relieve you in 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Radio in if you see anything. Just make sure nothing's nothing funky's going on. And then people would come up to our mansion asking for food or money or help, or like, hey,
Just
my
like
kids
people
were
in the
playing
town.
with this unexploded like mortar from the war with Russia, and like his legs
Here you
blown off. Can you
go.
please save him? And
Oh.
our doctors would go out,
Oh
and
my god.
we'd just help the locals. And
Oh my gosh.
so you just like stand up there. And so the post days were the worst. The post days were like the bane of my existence.
Well, it's so
I looked
boring.
forward to patrol days just because
You can
I would
do
get a little bit
something.
more downtime and sleep.
Yeah, and stimulation. I feel like, I mean, yeah, you're like on post, but I feel like I would literally be like, my eyes would be crossing.
Yeah, because then, well, on the post days too, you also did all the work that needed to be done on the actual base. So we called it like cop beautification.
I see.
COP is I forget what COP stands for. It's COP.
Oh, it's another acronym.
Oh yeah, everything's
it was just like
everything's
a-
an acronym.
like
Everything's an
a-
acronym. So
Exaggeration.
basically, my post days would be from midnight to 4 in the morning. I'd have post, so I'd sit up by myself in the middle of the dark, like freezing my balls off, like looking off into like sand and nothing.
In your happy suit.
Yeah, and 2 sweaters and sweatpants and leggings, and
Everything.
it was freezing. When I
Freezing.
tell you it was cold, I've never felt cold desert like that, and it was freezing during the winter anyways. So I'd stand there from midnight to 4, 0 to 4, and then from 4 I'd have to start doing the morning cleanup stuff. So that was basically like sweep out all the fucking mansion of all the dust. There's dirt from outside, obviously, in the mansion with no doors or no windows, and so you have to sweep it every day so it's not dirty. And then you'd have to like go pick up trash, and then you'd have to clean the shitters. So for our shitters, we basically built our own little makeshift porta johns, and then we had oil drums, 50-gallon oil drums cut in half, and we slid them underneath our makeshift porta johns, and that's what we pooped and peed in not peed, we pooped in those every day. And then our pee was we dug, so we had like 20-foot sticks of PVC pipe, like plumbing, like I do now, and we dug big ass holes in the ground and shoved them in the ground, and then just buried them back, and we peed down the tube 20 feet into the dirt.
You had to build this before you could pee in it?
Yeah. Well, no. So the piss tubes were already made.
Yeah.
And they had some makeshift shitters, but we made better makeshift shitters.
Oh my god.
When we had to move those piss tubes, it was probably the most disgusting thing, because you go over there to pee, and it was like the pee was coming up out of the ground because they've been used so long. So then we had to make new ones, and it was the most disgusting
The smell.
thing ever. But on a daily basis, I would pull those shitters out, and
Oh.
I'd pour diesel fire on everybody's fucking poop, and then light it on
Burn the
fire,
poop.
and I have to sit there and stir it until there was no more poop, and it was just ash, and it was empty.
Oh my
And
god.
then I'd slide it back in underneath for people to go poop again. And so that was like after post from 4 to 8, basically. And then at 8 o'clock,
Poop stirring from 4 to 8.
8 o'clock came around, and all of a sudden I'd have Haji Watch. And Haji Watch was, well, we're trying to improve our base. We're trying to get showers. We're trying to get, it was all dirt on the inside of our base, but then a really bad storm came and flooded our base, and it was all
Haji
mud.
What?
Yeah, we called them Hajis.
Are we going to get canceled for
you
that?
can call it local watch. I don't know. dude.
Local watch.
Look up the word Haji for word
No,
of the
I'm
day and
sure.
see if it's derogatory. I don't think it's derogatory.
No, I would not. I don't know. But
Maybe it is, but I don't know. Come for me in the comments. But anyways, so then so like our like trucks got like rained in, and they were all mudded over, and we couldn't use our trucks for like a week or whatever because it flooded our base.
Mm-hmm.
And so then our solution for that was to just buy a bunch of river rock from, a local rock supply guy in Afghanistan. So we had like dump trucks of Afghanis that would come in, and they just dump like big ass river rocks in the middle of our base. And then my CO said, okay, spread them out all over. So we were just like on top of this big ass pile, like kicking rocks, throwing rocks. Because it wasn't like, oh, you use a shovel.
Yeah.
You try and shovel that
It's too
shit. You're getting
heavy.
2 rocks on there, and you're like dink, and you're like banging shit, and it hurts, and you're like, this is stupid. And then we started getting creative. We just started getting the Humvees. And we'd get in the Humvees and we
drag them.
No, we drive into the pile of rocks to try and push the pile over.
I thought you like tie a string around it or something.
Tie a string around the rocks and pull one rock at a time. No,
I don't know.
We ran into it like a wall, and we just like tried to like bang the huge pile. So basically, that was like taking up way too much time, and we were way too slow. Out of a bunch of 18-year-olds who don't want to fucking do it and they think it's bullshit. So they hired like outside help. They hired locals to come do it. And
they paid them to do that.
Yeah, we'd pay them American dollars, and they would come inside of our base and do it. So if they're coming inside of our base, obviously we have to pat them down. Yeah, but they would move it, and they moved it like a lot faster than we ever could, because What
do you mean? You guys are Marines.
Yeah, no, but we're not trained to move rocks.
Oh my God. Don't get me started, guys. I'm going to just shut my mouth.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You want the work ethic of those people?
Trained to move rocks, but these guys are just like doing it no problem?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they still had problems with it. They still were working hard. We just didn't like doing it along with all the other shit that we had. It wasn't like these people were like Marines all of a sudden like doing.
Yeah,
it seemed like a very dumb task to be wasting our time on.
No, okay, that makes more sense.
But then it was like, okay, now we don't have to do the work, but you have to be in full gear with your rifle and watch them do it. And you have to sit there and be like,
that made me feel like a piece of shit. I'd just rather just do it.
Sure you would.
You're right. Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's a work, boys.
Yeah, you go shovel fucking river rocks for a while. And
yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not joining the military, but that's a whole nother conversation. I'm so naive. Like, that's why I commend any single human that wants to sign themselves up willingly to do this. It is literally insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for everyone. And that's why this is so interesting to me. Not to cut you off, but that's why this is like literally mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because like before I knew you, this was not something I would ever like think I'd ever want to do. Nor would I even want to be with someone who would do this. Because I'm like, this sounds crazy. Like,
it is pretty crazy.
But here we are. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, you did. Okay, so you're on deployment. You're stirring poop. But can we get back to the no showering?
Yeah, well, I'm just telling a long story about that. So, like, the Hajis were the ones who built our showers.
Okay.
So we didn't have showers for probably, like, the first 4 months of our deployment. We had those, like, solar things that you fill up a bag of water. So the River Rock guys
were the ones who built your showers?
It might have been the same. I think it was the same people. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
And so... But we had to...
Because you guys aren't trained to build showers.
We had to watch them. Well, yeah. We have other things to be doing.
I know.
It's not like we're there.
I know.
Oh, yeah. I got deployed to Afghanistan to build showers.
My number one priority would be building that shower. I'd be like,
they had like the solar showers, like, oh, here, go fill up this bag of water, sit in the sun, and then you can
let
like,
it
go shower
run for 2 seconds until it's all gone.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who wants to do that? And there was no like walls or privacy or anything. It was like, go stand out there on this wood pallet and like wash your ass in front of everyone.
I'd rather not.
And it was like, why am I going to go do that
when I can just not?
Because I barely have any free time to do anything. Like, I'd rather like lay down and take a nap than go shower.
I feel you, man.
So then once we got the showers made, we all were kind of looking forward to making showers, but like it just turned into another task that we, the young like boots, had to take care of.
Yeah.
Like, we had to watch the Hajis build it all the time. We had to, every time, once they were done doing it, now that was a new daily task. Every morning, we didn't have a well or a water supply in our base.
Right.
It was outside of our base.
Right.
So whenever we wanted to shower, every morning, we'd have to load up the Humvee, put all our gear on, our rifles, take the Humvee out, drive out to the well that was like, 500, no, not that much. Well, yeah, it was probably like 500 feet away from our base. And you go over to a well, and you'd pump up a 5-gallon gas can of water, and you put it in the truck, and you'd have to make like 4 trips of trucks to fill up this 500-gallon of water. And it would take like
and that
2
would
hours.
last for like 1 day's worth of showering.
Oh yeah, because
There'd be all the guys,
all the higher ups that we stayed with,
showers.
like our first sergeant, our master sergeant, like our captain, our fucking all the lieutenants, like the staff sergeants, and everyone who was like basically staying in the base 24/7, never went out on patrol, never did any of like the actual
watches
hard
or
weight
poop
work.
stirring,
No watches, none of that. Like they were the ones showering all the time, and then so we had to fill it up daily because they liked their showers. And then
as would I,
and so we were like pissed about that because we had to like
do it all,
and we didn't get the
to shower
to do it. We didn't get to shower.
Yeah,
and we were like, oh, but if we do get to shower, well, that just means we
more
have to
work,
fill it up more.
Water. Yeah.
So we all kind of made a pact, and we were like, none of us are showering for 7 months. And then so we also decided to like fuck with all their water too, and we like piss in it and shit too. When we're filling it up, we'd pee. So they were taking showers in our piss.
Confessions with Ryan.
Hey,
with slop tarts.
You gotta entertain yourself somehow.
Literally disgusting. I'm so sorry for any urine that has been on some other man's head because of my
You're sorry
husband.
for them. You're not sorry for me for having to fill it up every day.
I am really sorry.
And having to be some fucking other man's slave so they can be comfortable showering when I'm like miserable, not like getting any free time or comfortability.
No comment.
Oh, yeah, no. She's just sorry for the guy that got pissed on his head.
No, I just am thinking about if I didn't know and I was just getting a golden shower, I would just be like so traumatized.
Yeah, that was the point for us anyways.
I know, babe, but you know what I'm saying. I just think about that.
Yeah, I am thinking about it.
Would you, if you were a higher up, you wouldn't have showered?
Huh?
If you were a higher up, you wouldn't have showered?
I don't know. I never was a higher up. Never got in that position.
Well, there you have it, folks.
But probably not. Probably not if my men aren't showering.
Oh my gosh.
Lead by example, you know?
So during the time you were for your first deployment while you were there, was there anything that happened that was noteworthy that you want to talk about? That was like, well, were you scared? Like, obviously you were scared, but...
Well, yeah, I was like shitting my pants for like the first 3 weeks I was there. But then like after that, you just grow accustomed to your surroundings. You adapt and you basically accept death. You're like, okay, I can die at any moment. I can step on a bomb. And instead of being scared or, you know.
Did you have any moments where there were incidents happening? Like where like things happened?
Yeah. Within our first week that we were there, they were planning an IED down the road from our base to try and blow us up.
Did it go off?
No, we caught them planning it. And then so we went out at like midnight and busted into their house and arrested them. How did you catch him?
You were just watching him on post?
So on our base, there was like this, I want to say it was like 30 to 40 feet tall. And it was like they called it a G-Boss. But it was just basically like a spherical camera that turned 360 degrees and it could see out like almost a mile long. And that was one of the watches, one of the posts that someone had a man every day, all day, every day. So there'd be 4-hour shifts just like standing up on the wall. And the guy that was doing it at the time, he was just looking around and right down, basically our next door neighbors. He saw them like digging in a road and putting stuff in the road. And then so he figured that they were planning an IED. And it was right when we got there too. It was right when the turnover was.
When they see that and they're like, all right, they're doing something, we gotta go like
check it out, see what they're doing.
How long does that process take to make a plan? Like, do you make a plan first?
Oh, when we got the call, we were outside of the base within like 10 minutes.
Quick.
Yeah, within like 10 minutes.
And you have your plan, like you know what you're gonna go do.
Yeah, go get them.
Okay, but like you don't know where the IED is essentially, right?
Yeah, we do because the guy saw him doing it on the camera. But
what if there was more that he didn't see on camera?
Huh?
What if there was more that he maybe didn't see?
Well, that's why, I mean, there could have been, but the one that he did see, I mean, we knew where that one was, and we kind of we planned to get to their house like around.
That is so scary.
Through a different avenue of approach instead of going down the road to go to their house.
Yeah.
You know,
I
we
would just be
went
afraid
through,
that other avenue might have just been littered with other IEDs.
No, so that's why you were always trained to take like the path of most resistance, because the normal path, the path of least resistance, is obviously is going to be the most obvious place for people to walk, because it's the most comfortable, easiest route for people to travel, and those were like the most likely places to. So if you saw like a bridge, and that's like the only way to get to where you need to go, you wouldn't go over that bridge.
Right.
It's
You
not
go
the only
a
way.
way different, sketchy
You go
way.
down.
Around.
Into the river,
right.
And then back up. You wouldn't take the bridge.
Yeah,
you
and
know
hope that they weren't that smart.
Yeah. Well, they're not.
Well,
I mean, they are. They're actually
they
really
got you
fucking smart,
sometimes.
but-
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You didn't win every time. Unfortunately.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, but yeah. Anywho, man, I mean, we talked about a lot. I don't know. Is there anything? I mean, there's so many things that we can get into. It's like we could talk about things for days. Second deployment was back to Afghanistan.
Yep.
So you
back to Afghanistan. That was in the Garmsir district.
The first tour was how long?
Like 7 months. My second tour was like eight and a half.
And how long did you have in between?
I think it was like 8 or 9 months. And then so our unit was like one of the units like where we were just deploying back to back to back to back to back to back. Normally people the units wouldn't deploy back to back that fast. They usually get more than a 7-month break. But we got back from our first deployment, took our leave, then came back, and then like within 2 weeks we were starting our another workup again.
Was that just because they needed guys or something?
Yeah, because deployments were heavy. Everyone was deploying back to back at that time, basically.
Makes sense.
And then so we came back, and then so like we would spend some time in Hawaii and some training in Hawaii, but then you have big training operations in California. You have it on the Big Island of Hawaii. You have some smaller training operations on Honolulu, on some other bases. And so you just go through all these different training packages to basically get the A-OK for your battalion passed, and you guys are deployable, so now you can go.
Okay. And so when you start in the military, you start at like what rank? Or
private. At least in the Marine Corps.
That's like as low as and then
so it looks like this. No rank. Private.
Okay, nothing.
That's a private.
And then what's like the next step up from that?
Private first class.
Ooh.
Yeah, now you're in first class, baby.
Sounds nice.
PFC.
What's after that?
Lance Cooley. Lance Corporal. Terminal Lance. The best rank in the Marine Corps.
Is that you?
Well, yeah, that's what everybody loved. That's what that is. It's basically the PVC chevron with the cross rifles. That's Lance Corporal.
Okay. And then after that's
Corporal.
Okay.
And I got out as a corporal.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't update my uniform.
So how do you get to that?
So basically time in service, and then there's also the things called basically schools, basically classes, basically training. Like you have to do online schooling.
I see.
Military school, military tactics,
like licenses or like specialties.
Yeah, like learning what an NCO does. If you're going to become an NCO, you have to know non-commissioned officer.
Okay.
And so that's a corporal and above, corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, and they have certain roles and duties within the military. And so if you're going to become those ranks, you have to know what they do, and you have to be able to, pass like the schooling or test or whatever in order to be eligible to rank up.
Did you have to apply? Did you have to get picked to get?
No. So you just had to do it on.
It's like certifications.
They're called MCIs, I believe. Marine Corps institution.
There's like no limit on how many corporals there can be. Like there's not like a threshold. Like we've reached our limit of.
No.
Okay.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I wonder if there is like for a certain ranking.
I think there's only during promotional.
What's the highest rank you can get?
Either sergeant major of the Marine Corps or the general in the Marine Corps. The
1-800 general now.
The commandant of the Marine Corps, which is a 4-star general or the sergeant major of the Marine Corps is like the sergeant
And
major
how
of
do
all
you
sergeant
just do
majors.
that by just taking a shit ton of classes, or do you have to? Like...
Time and service. Time and service.
So how old are these guys? Like 80?
40.
What? Oh, I guess that is a long time if you're starting at 18.
Yeah. 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Not 60s, really. I mean, if they're 60s, they're generals.
Well, because I was reading, too, on the website, like, don't you have to get, like, special permission to join after 27 or 29?
Yeah, there is a cap on the age limit for joining. You have to get, I guess, special.
Yeah, there's, like, some type of, like exemption you have to get.
Yeah, special exemption. Yeah.
It's interesting. I just also want to talk about what you did, like, in your downtime, the little downtime that you have, because I've heard some crazy...
In country or in Hawaii?
Well, both, I guess, but I mean, like, when you're just, like, sitting around in the dirt hut mansion with no toilet, and you have time off with your boys, the boys, what are you guys doing? Was there internet?
For our first deployment, not for, I want to say 4 months-ish. There was one phone. There was one phone that we can call out to the States.
I guess internet
and I'd
wasn't...
rarely use it just because...
Yeah. I feel like back when we were 18, I still, like, was on the internet a lot, but it wasn't, like...
Not that much. Like, dial-up like was just getting out of town, or getting out of...
Yeah, it wasn't as, like...
prevalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have a smart... I mean, you still had smartphones.
Yeah, but
you had it in your pocket.
I got my first iPhone in college, like 2003 or 2009.
But they had iPhones before that.
They did, but barely.
Yeah.
It was like Blackberries and shit.
Yeah, Blackberries and Sidekicks and shit.
So no internet. So what are you doing if you have no internet?
So we would... people would play music, guitars, and we'd sing and we'd bullshit. We'd talk about movies. We'd talk about, what we'd want to do.
Sorry, where'd they get the guitar from?
They brought it.
You can bring that shit with you? So, like, Afghanistan, they're letting you pack a guitar?
Yeah, you can pack a guitar.
What else could you bring? Was there a list of cannot and can?
Yeah. Yeah. The definitely, there was a list.
You can't bring your golf clubs?
You have to. Well, I mean,
no
one brought any, but I guess you could have and just hit clubs and hit balls and bass, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But, I mean, actually, Cody, they did have a set of golf clubs over at Cody's base.
I was like, did he bring a skateboard?
And they were
I would just be bringing
balls.
random shit.
Most people brought like little video games or like a PSP or like a DVD player, or we'd play spades, or we'd work out.
Yeah.
We'd do a lot of working out all the time in our free time. We'd tan. Bad memories? What?
Vampire Diaries?
Yeah, we'd watch Vampire Diaries.
I can't believe you watched that show.
I watched all the Twilights.
Twilight.
Dude, anything I could watch, I'd watch. I watched all the seasons of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Saying that.
I watched, good God, how
Tanks?
much, yeah. Oh, me and Steph Steve Snell, whooped his ass in Pocket Tanks all the time. That was more the second deployment,
I've never seen a grown man sit on his phone and play a little. It's not even a good game, you guys. Like, it's not.
You're right.
It's like
a
little
great game. All right, for all you Pocket Tanks fans out there, come at this girl in the comments, okay? Because it's a great game.
That's what I read.
Candy Crush. That was just more of a time passer.
These are things that I just remember talking to Ryan about.
But
These are things that I cared about.
Pocket Tanks was competitive. That was a competitive sport over there.
Yeah,
like we got down on some Pocket Tanks, and then we built a war room on our second deployment too, where they'd play like Risk.
Oh my god! Yeah,
where they
Risk.
played War or whatever that
game.
Some crazy game that would take like a month long. They would like go in there and be like,
so
dude,
no
it's your
TV,
turn.
Nothing.
You got your little DVD player if you want to watch movies, and you got DVDs.
That's true. Just no like.
Or you'd bring like a little
satellite.
USB card with like all your your downloaded shows.
DVDs. Man, you had to be prepared.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, people would bring like 10 cartons of cigarettes, so that way hopefully they want to run out of American cigarettes and have to smoke Afghan cigarettes.
Worse? Were Afghan cigarettes worse?
Yeah, they were terrible. They had things called like 7 stars that had like little actual chunks of black charcoal in the filter, so it tasted like charcoal.
Ew. Why would you want it to taste like charcoal?
They thought it was like cool. And then they had pines, and pines tasted kind of like urine. It was just all bad processed tobacco.
What in the hell?
But you can get a carton of cigarettes for $3.
I kind of want to go to Afghanistan.
No, you don't.
Well, I have tried to talk Ryan into going to some crazy places. Where did I try to have you go?
Nowhere that crazy.
Shit.
Nowhere in the middle of a war.
Iran. I want to go see this
Yeah, I'm not
temple.
going to Iran.
This is really cool temple.
I will ran from Iran. I ran from Iran.
It's like literally so cool. We are going, maybe not right now, anytime soon, but
no, I don't think I'm not interested.
but Ryan's thirst for travel it matches mine. I think it's all because of his shit time and
no, it was the best / worst time of my life in the military.
Yeah,
it's a good way to explain it.
I mean, I'm thankful that you did it. I think it's so cool. Like it's like I always thought, and this is just me getting on a tangent, but I always thought like I was gonna marry like an athlete, like or at least someone who like liked playing sports, and that you are. But like it's like you played for like America's greatest team, like you know
damn right,
and you're very athletic.
And I was on the best team.
Yep.
Wasn't in the fucking Army or the Navy or the Air Force.
Yeah, it's like it was something I never thought about. Like when I was thinking about trying to find like a man. I never thought about the military, but again, that was because like I just did not ever have anyone necessarily in my life that like was in that.
Yeah, it wasn't prevalent
realm.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when I met Ryan, I was a little skeptical, just a little bit,
but also intrigued.
But also very intrigued, yeah. And I still am. It's very interesting. There's so many things that I just feel like are like a whole different world.
Yeah, it is a whole different world. It's its own world. It's like a rabbit hole.
Yeah, like I mean, we could go on for days. I just don't want to like bore people with like things that maybe they don't want to hear about tonight.
They can click off if they're bored.
I know.
We're having fun.
We're having fun, but yeah, it's also really late. It's like literally almost 1 a.m. So
oh, well, that's fine.
We should probably stop, but.
Are we through our agenda?
I think so. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out and talking about your
absolutely. Glad I can't. Thanks for asking.
I know I probably could have been a better interviewer and asked more.
No, I thought it was great. No, we don't want serious questions.
I think it's good to know just like
I'm bad at
the why
questions.
And also, just like the backstory.
Yeah. It was a good time. I don't regret it. I think it was the best decision of my life.
Rep your country.
Yep. Helps you grow up too.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you need to like join the military. I'm not.
I'm saying you should.
I ain't joining the military, but if you want to, you should.
I'm saying you should.
I will probably link a couple different.
I think it's beneficial.
Different. Why can't I think of the word right now?
Recruiting offices?
No, charities. That's what it is. Recruiting offices. Go. No, just different charities to support, veterans and the military. I do think that that's important. I mean, that's what keeps us safe. We are the greatest country for a reason, friends. Don't forget that. You can have your thoughts and beliefs. Also, go vote.
But
Tuesday.
you live
If you're
here.
watching this on Tuesday, please go vote.
Oh, we're voting Tuesday?
Tuesday is vote day, friends. Let's get it over with. So I don't have to hear these freaking commercials anymore. But yeah.
It's going to be a wild week.
It's something that you should be proud of. And
I am proud.
I am proud of you for.
Thank you.
And whether wherever you stand on your beliefs with the military, I still think that you need to respect that there is one and that we are very grateful to have one.
Yeah, if there wasn't one, there wouldn't be in America.
We would
let's just say
be
that.
in some deep shit. So thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Thank everyone out there for serving.
I'd do it again.
We love you guys.
Semper Fi.
I think it's time. Yeah, we didn't really even talk about that. Hoorah!
Hoorah. It's oorah. There's no H.
Oh.
Hoorah is the army.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Just kidding. You're cool too.
I'm so tired, babe.
Oh,
Is it time for bed?
Yeah, I guess so.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming to Heal Me Help You.
I hope I helped you.
I hope I helped someone out there tonight, whether it was just learning something or maybe getting motivated to go serve. Hey.
Yeah, go serve.
Our troops.
It's a wild experience.
Support our troops for reals. Salute. Service.
Semper Fi.
Yeah. I'm done. It's been a long night.